Hello? Listener, is that you? It's Kyle. I'm still trapped in the phone. I think those assailants that are after Allard are keeping me in here. They didn't think I would be able to get in contact with you, so I'm going to make this quick in case they disconnect it. Keep spreading the word about our show. Twitter, Instagram, Discord, Facebook, Tumblr. As many of them as you can. I think it's working. Their power seems to be getting weaker. Keep up the hard work. And I guess speaking of that, let me transmit an episode to you while we get this sorted out here. Here's episode 13, Postulating and Working Hard.
Welcome back, one and all, to another exciting episode of the Dice Crisis Podcast. I'm your host, Allard LaRue. I don't tell you that very often, but hey, who? I'm sitting here with Kyle Spurley,
Heyo.
Eli Plunkett, and Michael Wizalt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we're here to play Second Darkness for you guys some more. Yeah, we just got back. We're recording, what is this, episode 13? Episode 13 and episode 12 in the same day. So we just got back from a quick food and drink break, and we're back at it to provide more entertainment for the masses. Last time, our heroes, they had a little bit more of a down-tempo kind of section where they could split off and kind of establish and figure out what they wanted to do. First, they went and intimidated Captain Fizgabon into giving up the money that he was paid by Bradikar Fey for giving Zincher the exotic liquors instead of the Golden Goblin. Then they went and talked to Saul. Then they talked to their employees about the needs of the Golden Goblin. After that was all squared away, they went out and promoted that they were looking for more work. They ran into a troop of gypsies, stargazing gypsies, followers of Desna, who are in town for the week to do a market and a show and follow their stars to wherever they need to be guided to. And the last thing that happened, Cro and Elyon, drunk off good spirits and good times, decided to go confront the Stargazers about them being pickpocketed earlier in the day. Yeah, so last thing that happened was you, Elyon, and Cro had left Dane. Dane was up and he went to bed a little bit earlier than you guys were still pounding down some shots. You guys walk out arm in arm, but we can retcon a little bit if you guys wanted to do anything before actually walking out of the Golden Goblin, or else you guys are on your merry way. What do you think?
Yeah, before we go, I'm definitely going to grab a few bottles.
Okay, a few. How many is a few? Like just 3?
Yeah, I grab 3 bottles.
What kind of bottles do you grab?
I'm going to grab the first 3 that I see, and right now I'm feeling like I'm going off my colors. I grabbed 2 blue bottles and a red bottle.
Oh.
And the blue one is definitely some sort of clear liquor.
Okay.
There's a meat in there.
Sure.
And I really like that caramel shot that I had been given by Jimmy earlier, so I grabbed...
That was a mixed drink. You could grab just a bottle of cream liqueur.
Yes, I'll take the cream liqueur.
All right. You got that. You got 3 bottles. Elyon is jangling her way down the street. Cro, did you grab anything on your way out the door?
I saw that Elyon grabbed a bunch of booze, so I just followed.
You're like, all right, she's set for me too. Dane, you went up to bed. What are you doing?
Yeah, I went up to snooze. I would assume I've just undressed and am laying down in bed.
All right, so a nude Dane is sprawled out upon his bunk, top bunk, I think.
Yeah, defend top bunk.
Cro and Elyon make their way out of the Golden Goblin into the night. It's dark night still, clear skies, maybe 50s. I don't know. The black blot is still in the air, hovering in the sky. You can see it even though it's dark out. The illumination from the moon glints off the inky blackness that's hovering in the air. And you guys would make your way out of town through the gates. and in search of where, I don't remember who exactly said it, but one of the Stargazers mentioned that they were posted outside of the town for now. And you would follow the firelight and merry noises to a sizable camp outside of town. Now, near the edge of the camp, you guys would be stopped, probably, unless you are very brave, by a couple lions that are outside the perimeter. There's about 6 lions patrolling the perimeter of this camp. And that would be the first thing that you guys see as you make your way to this crowded area of tents and light.
Cro, do you see those up ahead?
Yeah, those are big and scary.
Do you speak lion?
Not unless they're demonic lions.
I don't know what they are.
Should I try and intimidate them?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I got your back.
I'm gonna try and intimidate the lions. I'm gonna give a little, hey you, go away.
Okay, roll your intimidate.
21.
21. All right, you kind of walk up to these lions. You're like, hey, now, get out of here. Get away. Pretty intimidatingly. And they would just bear down and start growling at you. And before these lions look like they're about to pounce on you, a catfolk man would walk out of the shadows and go, hey, Leo, back off. Lemmy, no.
Are these your lions?
These are my lions, friend. Are you friend or foe?
Well, I'm your friend since you're controlling the lions.
Well, I don't know that yet. I could sick them on you, but...
Oh, I'm Cro Moonwave.
Disdin.
Disdin. Good to meet you. What are you doing in these parts?
I am part of the Stargazer caravans.
Oh.
I'm here to entertain the masses with my show.
Yeah, we met a few of them back at our place of work.
Yes.
We're coming to say hello, to see, to get a little more information about who you are, why you came to town. Just look like a fun bunch.
Okay, well, if you're looking to hang out and party with the crew, I could introduce you to a couple of the people here. Follow me. And he would lead you on through the camp, through some tents, to a big fireplace area where there are maybe a dozen to 20 people sitting around this, just kind of talking to each other and enjoying the beautiful sky above them, which is clear and bright with stars, now that you're outside of the Riddleport district and not hindered by the blot hanging up in the air.
Everywhere we go, as we're moving through the camp, Elyon is scanning for frog-like small humanoids.
Okay. And you would eventually see him sitting by the fire next to Malfo Malvadorio, enjoying a nice drink with his compatriot.
Huh.
Disdin would bring you, all right, friends. These are our leaders of the troop. This is Taku Namaschet, and this is Koshtu Namaschet. And he would direct you to these 2 ringleaders of this whole caravan. They seem to be they look similar to each other, but one has dark eyes and dark hair, while the other one's eyes are very pale and he has bleached out hair. They both look like half elves. The bleached out hair one, Koshtu, has runic scars carved all over his arms that are glinting off the light of the fire, as he's not wearing his full cloak at this point.
Koshtu and Taku, and points to the Gripply. And what is your name?
Oh, that is Quan over there. You're a little bit of ways away from him at this point. What, do you know Quan? Do you like me to get his attention?
He looks familiar, and I give way too obvious of a look to Cro. Gonna raise my eyebrows and kind of like nod my head in that direction. It's pretty clear, but I think I'm being sneaky about it.
I think I get it.
So what are you all doing here tonight?
Koshtu would take lead. He'd say, we are following Desna's bright lights to... Well, I have been leading this troop of caravanners out into the nights across Varesia and in parts unknown to track down magical horror decks. I have found a couple myself, but I am still in search of the deck of many things.
The deck of many things?
Yes, a powerful deck of hero cards that can manifest different magical things as you draw the cards. Each card has a different effect. magical effects. I, myself, am not so much as into the great powers that could be brought to me, but I am interested in tracking down the history of hero cards. I could give you a reading if you would like. Or else we have many other diviners and fortune tellers here that could.
Please give me a reading. Tell me, what do the cards say?
I sense searching in both of you. Something's missing that you don't know what you need to do next. Tell me, young one, do you have a question for the cards? And he takes out a deck of his hero cards. Yeah, do you have a specific question for the cards, or would you like me to divine your past, your present, and your future?
Tell me my future.
Okay. And he would start shuffling his cards.
Does Desna speak through you?
Desna does not speak through the people who follow her, but she is merely a guiding light into what is just and good. She will not tell me the fortunes that you are about to see, but through these cards that she has helped bring into the world and through their histories that they represent, I will tell you where you have come from, where you are, and where you are going.
Yes. I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
But no specific question for the cards?
Perhaps the question is, what is my purpose? But maybe that's too broad.
It's a little bit too broad, yes. I guess a purpose is one to be discovered by the individual, but I can tell you where the path will lead you, and from the path you can find your purpose.
Elyon nods repeatedly, sits down on the nearest log around the fire, ready.
And he starts throwing out cards in a spread. Now maybe tell me a little bit about yourself, Elyon, and I can tell you more accurate of what cards represent you and which might not.
Well,
there's a 3x3 grid out here. The first column represents the past, the middle column represents the present, and the farthest right column represents the future.
Well, I'm Elyon. I'm a full elf here in Riddleport, which there aren't many of us around. I haven't really left Riddleport. This here is just about as far as I've gone away from the city. My past, I don't know. My current, I work in town at the Golden Goblin. You may have heard of us.
I have passed through and heard such things.
Cro and I were both workers. We're trying to find a way for the business. And as far as my future, I don't know. I hope you might have some answers for me.
We'll see what the cards have to say about you. And he flips over the first column cards. And you would see before you 3 cards flipped over, the publican, which is looks to be an innkeeper pouring beer from one side, one cup in his right hand to a cup in his left hand, just in a big rainbow arc of beer. Another one is the hidden truth, and it shows a wizardly man with a flame on the tip of his finger pointing to a book of text. And then the final card in the past column is the sickness, and it shows a wretched old lady with what looks to be green onions in one hand and a pair of dice in the other. She is clothed in a fur and feathers, and her face is sick with disease. He would look over these cards for a moment, taking them in. What are you, chaotic good? Chaotic neutral? And he would say, all these cards, I feel that they kind of half relate to who you are as a person, so maybe gleaning at what they mean might give you bits and pieces of your past.
My past is vague to me. I have memories of early teens and sort of growing up, but where I came from, who I was to begin with, I don't know.
The publican represents a fellowship or camaraderie. In your past, it seems that, you have come from the place of family, and your refuge that you found here might be false in comparison to the refuge you left behind. The hidden truth doesn't much represent who you are. I think this is a one that could maybe just glean a little bit of context surrounding things that more represent you. But the hidden truth represents an ability to see past the obvious and banal into a greater truth within. Maybe your past has more to it than you know. But regardless, this power means that there is power in revealing the secrets within your past. The sickness only half aligned with you. You don't have a great corruption within you, but there is something within you that is maybe bubbling up more, maybe in an anger, maybe a mistrust, I don't know. But there is something within you that is bubbling up now, which is related to your past. Maybe a change, maybe a disease or a sickness is usually a corruption of some sort. Maybe something could take hold of you, I don't know. And then he would flip over the middle column, representing the present. And he shows you the Demon's Lantern, which depicts a bog-like scene with 3 different colored blue, green, and red orbs floating in the air, and a hand sticking up out of a swamp or a bog. The Queen Mother, which is depicted by a queen ant holding grapes in elegant clothes and having her larva in front of her. And then the last one is the Foreign Trader, a completely neutral card. And it depicts a dark-skinned, perceiving to be an elven man with pointed long ears and a monkey on his shoulder, beckoning forth, or holding forth, a handful of golden jewels. I'd say these ones are not quite true alignments with you either, but merely half alignments. The Demon's Lantern. The Demon's Lantern can represent traps and tricks. There are will-o-wisps and the man who sought their light, and they represent an impossible or intractable situation. So maybe you find yourself in your situation currently. Maybe what you think is happening isn't necessarily what is going on. Maybe you are being a bit deceived. Maybe there is something going on behind your eyes as you're looking too close to what is before them. Maybe something is behind them. The Queen Mother also half aligned with what I sense you to be. The Queen Mother typically is a representation of knowledge personified. The Formian, or the Ant Woman, knows all but does not reveal anything to anyone who does not show her proper worship. She is fond of power and the underclass, for they serve her when the more powerful refuse. Half aligned makes me think that you are not the Formian, my young one.
What am I?
Maybe you're the person serving the Formian. I'm not sure.
I'm the servant.
And then the Foreign Traitor, a perfectly neutral card. A card of knowledge. This is the card of spies and peddlers alike. Any who trade in information are subject to this card's influence. A bargain made under this card's auspice always includes true, but ramifications of the pact might be shocking for those who do not understand its implications. This one has a similar feeling to the Queen Mother. I do not believe that you are the Foreign Trader. I believe that there are people peddling information about you in this current moment. And then he would flip over the future cards. The Mute Hag, with a crony woman with 3 fingers up, and an eye in her mouth, but no eyes in her actual eye sockets. The Teamster is a strong-looking man with a smaller, like gnomish man on his back with a whip of cat of 9 tails, apparently controlling this man forward. And the last card is the Winged Serpent. This makes the alignment of these cards makes your future look very uncertain. It's kind of all up to chance at this point because none are perfectly aligned with who you seem to be. The Mute Hag, for instance, who is a neutral evil card, only half aligns with you, and represents silence, but the eye sees into the hearts of men. The hag invokes blood pacts and poisonous secrets, the kind that turn brothers against brother and sons against father. This is a card that performers loathe. It leaves them stumbling over their words and songs. I wouldn't say that this card is misaligned, so it does not indicate an unshakable loyalty or lucidity of speech. This is a kind of ominous thing to have in your future, young one. There seems to be some sort of... I wouldn't say that, since it's half a line, that there's a pact in your future, but there's something secret held there that relates to a greater cause or purpose. Maybe one that you won't choose, but one that might choose you.
I like to think that I control my own future, so this is unsettling, to say the least.
The Teamster, which is another half-aligned card. This is another true neutral card. This card represents a driving force that keeps the subject going no matter what. This force can be physical, mental, as a person extorts others to continue on when she has no more strength to give. This can either mean that there is somebody controlling your actions now and in the future, or that there is a nagging feeling of yours that will keep you continuing on in the face of uncertainty. And the winged serpent, which is 100% misaligned. Normally, the winged serpent represents a powerful being. It represents a bridge, knowing whether now is the time to strike. But since this card is misaligned on this spread, it means either you will not seize a moment, or you will seize a moment and it will be ill-advised. Things to keep in mind. This is a very, very vague prediction that has come up for you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to make of all of it, but it seems that overall you are not in control of it. At least at this moment. The cards don't see you being in control of much of what... Or maybe you feel like you are in control, but there is somebody else pulling the strings, so to speak.
Elyon takes a drink from one of the bottles she has, looks to him. You've spoken a lot, and I don't know how much of it will prove to be true, but I certainly was hoping for some sort of clarity in my future, and that's not what you have.
Yes, the cards are not always clear.
I think still you've taught me something, and I have even more to think about and more to learn from what you said, so thank you. And she hands him a gold piece.
No need, sir. No need. Keep your gold pieces.
Bows her head, thanks.
I no longer charge for my card reading services. But I know those who can, and those who use divinatory magic alongside with them. Taku, my brother here, he is one of them. I merely know the histories and meanings of the cards that present themselves, and I can tell you how they mean to what I see you to be. But if you want true fortune telling, I would point you in the way of Miselia Malvadorio.
And who is that? Where?
She is the diviner of our camp. I mean, we have many diviners, but she's more experienced, and it is more certain the things that she sees in her crystal ball than what some might see in the stars or me in the cards. I would seek out her. I can point you to her tent if you are more curious into more specifics of your past. She may show you visions, even.
Yeah, where is she? Cro, maybe you're interested in...
You would point across the fire to a circular tent, kind of in the shadows.
Thank you.
Half-orc. I sense a touch of destiny in you.
What you mean?
I see that symbol around your neck, the spiral.
Oh, yes.
And he would trace a spiral symbol in the air towards you.
Ah, yes, I am a follower of Pharasma.
You reek of death, young one. Maybe Miss Elia can point you in maybe a right direction.
I live on the edge.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
That is good.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. That is all I can give to you. I am more of a seeker and less of a looker these days. I will find the things that I need, and Desna will hopefully show me my way. But I have learned through myself that I cannot never always rely on what the cards tell me. And I feel like you should not necessarily rely on what the cards tell you as well. But the cards do gleam a little bit of truth.
Thank you for your guidance. Is there anything I can help you with? You're new to town. Perhaps I can help in your seeking here.
Well, the only thing that... See, we have... Our caravan are mostly guided by my searchings. They've all joined my cause, mine and my brother's cause, or my cousin's cause here, Taku. And we typically divine out or search for these lost remnants of ancient hierodecks and mystical hierodecks. That is my main purpose. I wish to seek this power, but there are other purposes within the camp that you can feel free to look around and find out for yourself. I believe that we search the stars for its falling graces for our armorer. He has been seeking out sky metals, and we've been helping him find those. They are rare and hard to find, but our diviners have brought us here in the search of more, as well as the deck of many things. If you could possibly help me get access to any libraries in town, I would be so kind as to tip you or help you out with anything else. I could give you another reading, or maybe Taku could divine something more in his fortune telling.
Oh, I got this friend Sam who just became a cipher mage. She's got access to the libraries. She'll definitely
That is wonderful.
hook
Yes.
you up.
That is great. I will seek her out.
Come to the Golden Goblin.
We will all come to the Golden Goblin tomorrow, and I hope you all will join us in the show that we put on in our market and later in the week, just in a couple days, as a matter of fact.
Raises her bottle.
Cheers.
Cheers.
He holds up a bottle of this bright green liquid, and he chugs it back. Would you care for some absinthe?
Let me get a sip of that.
Yeah, she takes a sip.
He passes the bottle around. It is quite strong.
Glug, glug.
And as this was going on, almost the stereotypical looking gypsy lady had walked from her tent, and she had just been kind of staring at Cro. Half orc. I don't know how she should sound. All these guys are going to sound kind of the same. I am Miselia Malvadorio. Who are you,
Hello.
half orc?
I'm Cro.
Cro. The stench of death is ripe on you.
Ooh, yep, that's me.
And I can tell from your symbol that you also represent birth and fates.
The life and the death.
Come with me
Where are we going?
to my tent. I am interested in seeing what the crystal ball shows me about you.
Oh, all right, cool.
And you would walk into her tent. Elyon, do you follow?
Yeah,
you
if she
can-
doesn't object.
Friends can be welcome. And she would sit you in front of a circular table with a crystal ball sitting in the middle. And she'd be like, what's your name? Cro. Did you say Cro?
Yeah, Cro.
Cro, tell me. I am sensing a loss from you. Have you recently lost something or someone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I lost me mom.
Your mother. Oh no, Cro. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I had to watch her die.
Even more terrible indeed. Now, tell me, what did your mother tell you about your childhood?
Oh, it was a lot of on the run action, a lot of fights with father, who we eventually estranged ourselves from and murdered.
Do you remember your father?
Oh, a little bit here and there. It's not much good. A lot of anger.
Not of anger, huh? Do you know what the anger was all about?
Nah, really, to this day, I really don't. I just saw how he was treating my mom, and I didn't really care.
And she would light up some incense and kind of prestidigitate some colored lights, kind of mystical kind of theme going on here, really getting you in the mood. And then she stares into her crystal ball and casts a spell. Tell me, Cro, do you see anything? Do you see anything, Cro? Gaze into the crystal ball. And you would look in there.
Cro's looking.
And you would see your mother, much, much younger. Maybe even before you were around.
Oh, that's me mom.
You see your mother, yes. And then you would follow your mother in this crystal ball as she walks through the ether and finds herself next to a strapping-looking half-orc man. And she is laughing with him and having a good time, and the scene would cut again, and this time the scene between her and the half-orc man is heated and angry. And eventually another scene would take place, and you would see your mother slowly creeping in and catching this half-orc man in the act with another woman. And this scene would cut again to your mother sneaking up to this man in his sleep and cutting his throat. It would cut again, and she would it's your mother basically taking this other woman captive. And you'd see this kind of play out in the smoke of the crystal ball, and you would basically see your mother, quotation marks, deliver this half-orc child from this woman and then kill her and take you, this half-orc baby, off into the night.
Oh my gosh.
Child, I sense that you are born of death, and life and death circle around you in infinitely convoluted ways.
My mom's not my mom.
Is that what we saw? What did you see, child? I see sometimes alternate things.
I saw my mom, the mom that raised me, kill my father and my biological mom. Whoa.
So Elyon's at the table. Did she see that too?
She could almost see the scene's kind of like chopped together, almost like Harry Potter kind of like moving picture kind of style, but with the ethereal kind of cloudiness of a crystal ball happening. And you would kind of see these similar scenes or these same scenes pop up, but you don't necessarily have the context of even recognizing one person in there. But you would kind of see this play unfold in the crystal ball.
I might be able to infer, being that it's about Cro looking at it.
Yeah.
It's about him.
Young one, do you have any questions for me? Do you have any questions for the crystal ball?
Why'd you want to show me this?
I just sensed something from you, and I thought that you were lost and confused in your past and your present, and I thought that the crystal ball could maybe glean something from it.
Well, it just shows me that death is more a part of me than I even thought.
And she would look back into the crystal ball and start gazing in it again. Cro, I see you following not a physical path, but more of a metaphorical path. You will be the one, maybe not the one, but one of the ones who helps prevent a great evil from happening. I sense something. I sense darkness, almost in a place that light cannot reach. You will travel.
Maybe a
or
cave?
maybe the path that you are on will lead you down somewhere, and you will help prevent, or your path will help prevent, meaningless death and ends to many, many people.
Well, that sounds nice.
It doesn't sound too bad, now does it?
No, I like to help.
Yes. And that's all I have for the crystals tonight.
Well, thank you for showing me that.
I hope that you seek us out once again. You come to a market and pay 10 GP to have this done later.
Oh, yeah, fair
And she
enough.
smiles and winks. All right, you two. Is there anything else that Madame Mizelia can do for you?
No. Thank you. That was enlightening and impressive.
I appreciate your patronage. Now, go with Desna and follow the stars.
Keep on stargazing.
Word, and you guys walk out of her tent.
I don't mean to prod Cro, but was that you in the crystal ball?
It was my parents. Yeah, the baby was me.
Did you know?
I didn't know.
Do you want to talk about it at all?
Well, I mean, to be really frank, they're all dead, so just kind of on my own mission now.
All we can do is keep going.
You're
You're not your past.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep that in mind. Had my mom still been alive, maybe I would have had some questions for her, but may she rest in peace.
It's all just mystery and lore now.
Kind of gives me a deeper sense of myself, though.
Drink this.
Ah, yes.
What time is it now? What point of the night are we at?
It's deep into the night. I don't know, probably a little after midnight.
Well, are you still looking to rough some people up, or should we head home?
Elyon's like juiced out. Whoa.
She came here all fiery and then
Yeah.
Now she's gonna
they
zonk.
extinguished it a bit.
What are you feeling?
I'm feeling a snooze.
Time to head back.
This I think this endeavor is gonna happen. It's gonna be a little bit of time. I don't think this is one we can just rush and get some money back really quick.
Yeah, she's down to go back.
All right, cool. We head back to the Gobbo.
All right, you guys head back to the Golden Goblin. As you weave back through the path that kind of splits this mountain that borders the north and eastern edges of the city, you'd hear a scream coming from like south of where you guys are, just down the road a bit.
Whoa, did you hear that?
What was it? Let's go.
I know. Let's check it out.
Runs.
You guys run following this noise that had happened, and eventually you would find a massacred corpse, just butchered apart. It looks like someone had not really even a sword, but something bladed and heavy that just chopped a person apart. And Elyon, you'd maybe get a flashback to the dead body that you found as a kid, that the last time that you were hanging out with children along just around Railport, and that you instinctually kind of burned. And the cuts on this person match what that just flashback, you recognizing it to be.
All right, well, it kind of freezes at that because that's sketchy. Do you see any, where could they have gone?
How fresh does this body look?
It's fresh.
Can I make a perception check to see if there's anybody around?
Yeah, make a perception check.
21.
Bad.
21 is enough to see in this immediate area, in this bloody area, that there are these large footprints of a humanoid that kind of run away, and after a few steps the blood dries on his feet and then are gone.
Oh, it looks like a dine and dash.
Dine and dash, huh?
Is
Thanks.
the body, they're full dead?
Yeah, they're butchered.
Butchered. Do I recognize anything about them?
Because in our session 0, you asked and rolled if Elyon had heard any other rumors in the town. This is actually one of those rumors that you had rolled on in our session 0. This looks to be like the same kind of brutality that the Rotgut Butcher has shown, and this is a kind of almost like a Jack the Ripper type presence in this town for the last. He's been here for a few years. Sometimes he'll go dark for quite a while, but here and there he'll pop up again, and there'll be these just chopped apart bodies found in the street. They call him the Rotgut Butcher.
I hoped he was gone, but this is looks like the work of the Rotgut Butcher.
Whoa. Sounds like he's cutting guts.
Seems to be. I I don't know if we have anything to do with this.
Do you know where he's at, or?
I don't know anything about him. When I was younger, I once came across a body of, I think, one of his old victims, but that was so long ago, I figured he was done doing his work at this point.
Maybe let's keep this in mind and let's talk to somebody about it. Maybe like Saul or like somebody who maybe would know the town and maybe they know something about him.
Yeah, let's let someone else know. Yes.
Okay, very disturbed. We're going to keep making our way.
All right, and you get it back to the Golden Goblin. What do you guys do? Go to bed?
Snooze.
You guys to
Yep.
bed? All right, you guys snooze. You would have probably kind of restless dreams, kind of thinking over the information that had been brought to you just unexpectedly on a drunken stroll over to get, I don't know, revenge or justice from a pickpocket. You didn't you didn't actually confront any of that.
Yeah, we didn't know it was going to be truth o'clock.
No revenge.
Well then, you guys would all wake up the next morning. Dane, you would wake up to find two people that in your room that you didn't fall asleep with.
Well, I don't sleep with many people.
Well, it's Dane and it's Cro and Elyon.
Oh, rad.
That's totally a lie. You sleep.
I sleep around.
You sleep around.
Nah,
You temple goer.
I want to say that since it's nice and early, I'm not going to put on, like, the armor aspect of it. I want to go to the pond behind the goblin where they had originally seen the Cuda.
Yeah, the
Was
river.
it the river?
That's the river.
I want to go down there, do a little scouting for some shit. Is that cool?
Sure.
I'm
You
gonna-
want to go like hunting?
Kinda. I'm gonna kind of go more the survival route of it though, and maybe even perception style. I want to see if we can find more Kudas living around in the area, maybe like a den, something like that.
Okay.
Because I want to start setting up some traps to get some fun fights for the goblin. And I think people might want to fight a Kuda or a reef claw if they can find them. So mainly, yeah, just looking for homing, signs of travel.
Yeah, sure. You can do that. What did Elyon and Cro have planned for the day? Are you gonna join Dane in this hunting mission?
Left quietly to like try and
Nah.
You left quietly.
try and not bother them. I see that they weren't there when I went to bed, and they're there now. It's like
I'm
I'm
probably
just
going
gonna
to sleep in a tad.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like
To
I'm
be
gonna
fully
go out
rested.
early style,
Elyon too.
kind of early looking around. You know what I mean? Seeing what I.
And then I'll probably get up and just maybe guard the door for a little bit till I figure something out to do.
Okay. So, Dane, you can, if you walk outside the Golden Goblin and make it to the banks of the Velashu River.
Yeah.
Make me either maybe a knowledge. Do you have knowledge nature?
Yeah, I should.
You can make a knowledge nature to kind of find maybe a nice location that would be apt to have swamp barracudas.
That's only a 12.
A 12, you're like, they're water-dwelling
They're
creatures.
How about I'm feeling inspired. Can I maybe give another round of knowledge
You can
check?
do a knowledge local to
Sure.
see if you remember hearing any rumors of
What the
of
fishermen
swamp
do? What do the
barracudas around
fishermen
the
do around
area.
here? Yikes, dude. Okay, so this and a D6. That's a 13.
Like, you feel like you just kind of hear them around the water.
I know of something about them being in the water.
Like, you've heard attacks happening in the river, you've heard it near the coast, you've heard it kind of off the coast a bit, in kind of the boneyard area. You've
Okay.
heard them kind of just basically around water. You don't really
That's
have
good
a
enough.
specific location. You can...
That'll help.
Okay. Is there
Yeah.
any specific area that you want to go search for?
I mean, I'm not gonna go too far out on a hunt for one right now. I just kind of wanted to see if when I went back there, if you're like, wow, yeah, there's a lot of them living back in this area, or if it's like, no.
Make a survival check.
Okay. 7.
7, you don't see any sign of any swamp barracuda living around the area.
Yeah. All right. That's good enough knowledge for him. He just wanted to see if there was like an immediate access to him.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any nearby right now.
Word.
And by this time, Elyon and Cro had probably woken up from their slumber. Fucking sleepy is over here.
Crawl out of bed, look around, see no Dane. Dane? Dane?
He's
Soon.
probably out doing drugs.
You're probably right. You're probably right about that.
Yeah, that stupid druggie.
Yeah.
Some guy who'd been sleeping in another bunk was like, yeah. I got hired.
Just a random.
Oh, hey,
Name's
dude.
Carl.
I'm Cro.
My name's Carl.
Hi, Carl.
Carl, what'd you get hired to
I
do
think
here?
Carl was the guy downstairs.
Yeah, there's a couple Carls. I'm gonna go back to bed, you guys.
Good night, Carl.
Night.
Night, Carl.
So Elyon's awake. She's gonna get ready for the day, go downstairs, kind of do a brief look for Dane.
Yeah, he's not here right now.
Then she's just gonna busy herself around the bar.
Cool.
I'll man the doors.
Okay.
A door. Some door.
And during this kind of downtime time, do you guys want to do any selling of anything, buying of things? I mean, I assume that we're kind of gonna off mic kind of sell and buy things, but is there anything that you're interested in maybe finding more about that you would like to purchase, or role play out any specific purchasing or anything like that, or you just want to take care of that stuff kind of off air? Elyon's got a smithery that she has something to do with.
Yeah, she has this blacksmith that.
You have like a little over half finished sword or falchion down there.
Yeah, when she gets time, she's gonna go work on it. If today's kind of a light day, then she'll head that way, do some of that business.
Yeah, you have time for that.
Yeah. So she'll go over there.
Cool. Yeah, Crow, make me your intimidate check. Fell off the fucking table.
Wow.
You suck.
Wow.
You suck. That's a 1.
+7.
There you
Nah,
go.
fucking reroll it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I apologize for my inconsistency. This is a 17.
17, that's good enough to stand there and be intimidating, and no one's gonna try and mess with you. Or try and mess with the rules of the Golden Goblin.
Thank you. Enjoy your day.
Elyon, making it back to your forge. You've left the coals running or something. It's hot.
It's hot in there.
It's hot in there.
Yeah, so she gets in, kind of knows what she wants to do, wants to get to work a little bit.
Yeah, make your craft blacksmith.
9.
9. You make a little bit more progress, but it's not quite done yet. You still have like a couple more things. You're like, I want to get this part right. Maybe the spiral of the guard is kind of a little tricky, and so you're just like working on it. You're like, it's not quite the spiral I want it to be. It's not quite there yet, but you have maybe 2 more hours to work on it.
All right, yeah, she's really trying to make it good, and she's putting some she's doing inscriptions on it too, which is very not something she's done a lot, kind of a lengthy process.
Okay, hell yeah. Dane, would you make it back to the Golden Goblin about this time?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yar.
Do you have anything else that you want to do for the day? You want to just craft and do your stuff, or
Do the crafts for Finn, whatsoever stuff. Also, if I can find someone who would want to make traps for hunting, fishing. Because I don't know how to do that as a little boy.
make a knowledge local?
Okay. I was half-assed thinking Elyon might know how to make, because it's metal, to make like a cage that shuts when something swims in it. I don't know.
Possibly. You have
Maybe.
the designs for it, though.
Local?
Yeah.
23.
23. Yeah, you would definitely know of a couple hunters and
hunter
trappers
fishers.
within town who provide pelts and other game.
All right, I'm looking to find some traps, 1 water, and at least 1 or 2 for nature, for things like bears and whatnot.
Okay.
Cougars.
Yeah. You get to these guys and definitely ranger type dudes, very
Okay.
very dirty, covered in furs and cloaks and stuff like that. They wouldn't have the traps that you're looking for, but they would provide you with sketches for the size of trap that you need
To
that
make.
you need to make for
Okay.
these swamp barracudas or bears or whatever.
But they don't
that you
have
want.
any made up.
Yeah, they're a little bit smaller game. They don't really trap the size of things that you want trapped at this point.
Okay.
But they
They give us some blueprints.
Yeah, for like 10 GP, they'll give you some blueprints.
All right. Yeah, I'd do that. I'd coax my way into 10 GP blueprint plan.
These are the best blueprints that I've ever drawn.
They sure look like it.
Yeah.
Is there any task thing I wanted to do? Inform the bartender. What was his name? Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy.
I want to inform Jimmy that if he sees any of the caravaneers come in, since I did let them know that their drinks are on me.
Okay.
So if
He
anyone comes in,
acknowledges.
identifies with the caravan.
He acknowledges and writes,
Sick.
starts a little tab on your name.
Jimmy's a bad bitch.
He is.
All right. Other than that, that's what I was gonna try and do. Get some game going. Can I go back to the place and maybe start working?
Yeah, sure. You can work.
Crafting?
Yeah. What do you want to craft for today?
It's not alchemical. I was saying like the traps.
Oh,
Should I start making those? Should I find someone to make those?
I think Elyon would be the best
That's
person
okay.
to make those.
I'll make drugs.
Okay.
She can make a trap.
Yeah. Talk to her about it.
Okay,
when
yeah.
She gets back.
When she gets back. So right now I'm gonna go meet up with Finn and give him what I can make for the day, which is all night, Pesh Black, the two things I'm making.
Cool.
24 for the Pesh,
All right, that makes the Pesh black. Black Pesh.
26 for the all night.
All right, you got the next. Yes. You got
Nice.
another day or so supply of each of those ready to go for the Golden Goblin.
Can I craft some of the things that I would want? My
Yeah.
extracts for the day.
Yeah,
I
you
totally
can-
forgot about that.
You can do stuff.
I kind of like got up and left. I'm just gonna also craft my things. It'll probably just be 2 or wait, I can do 3 now. So yeah, I'll just pick some of my extracts to prep for the day, and other than that, I'm pretty much just doing my chem thing
Cool. Cool.
until I find Elyon.
Yeah. Elyon, would you walk back to the Golden Goblin, or what's your plan?
Couple stops first. She wants to stop at a bookstore. She's going to pick up a couple books that are just kind of basically about magic. And if she can find anything about the history of elves, looking for some reading material.
Yeah, there's kind of there's a bookstore in town that kind of it's not like just a bookstore, but you know that this trader of general goods and stuff like that, he kind of has some more magical effects and more academic effects like that, and he would have pretty much the books that you're looking for at this point.
Great. She picks some up, and her next stop
They're
is
5 GP apiece.
all right. She's gonna buy 2 books on magic and a book on elven history
Cool.
and party business. She's gonna go. We talked about previously as a group buying another wand of cure light wounds, so she's gonna go pick one of those up.
Yeah, he would have one of those as well.
Great. Gets that at the same time and keeps that with her.
And this guy, he's all like hunched over, and he always like talks and whispers. He's like, "Oh yes, that's a good book. That's a very good book. Yes, and a wand too. This wand will heal you. It'll heal you.
Oh, great. That's exactly what I was expecting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take it. That one's
I've got it.
750 GP for that wand.
Here you go. 750.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye."
Runs out. Runs into a bookshelf like half on the way. Knocks some books to the ground. Still keeps running.
He like follows you to the door and then like keeps waving out the window.
She waves once. Runs
Okay.
away. What was the name of that bookstore?
It gets a 1-star Yelp review. Fucking creepy ass owner.
It was called the Unique Oddities.
Unique, definitely.
There's a little hole in the wall shop.
Elyon thought he was weird.
He was weird.
And then after that, Elyon goes back to the goblin and walks in the door. Sees Dane around.
I'd be at my table, probably
Yeah.
crafting. So
he's
I don't
at
know
his
where
table.
that is. That in the room?
Yep.
She doesn't necessarily seek him out, but she just kind of gets to work.
Yeah.
Eventually bumps into him.
All right, cool. Make your little waiter check.
15.
Did we decide that was perception? That waiters used? Or
We
what
have
did
used that.
decide?
We've used perception and dex. And
Dags. Damn, waiters are skilled.
Yeah.
we're all over.
What did you say it was? My bad.
It was 15 with my dex.
Hell yeah.
I'd have to say
a good check.
acrobatics. So you like balancing things.
That too.
Yeah, and during the day, there'd be people funneling in to ask, like, inquire about the help wanted stuff.
Sick.
Do you guys want to? How do you want to go about this? Do you just want to say, I can do it by roll a die, or we can minutely go through every character that comes in?
I would say let's roll a die. Let's make them roll a die to see how their interview went.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like how they did.
And tell us like what position they're interviewing
Yeah.
for.
Okay, so today 6 people come in,
Wow.
and let's say there are 4 people who want to be bouncers, and then 2 people who are either like, I can do waiting or I can do gambling or blah blah blah. All of the bouncers that came in don't look like they could fight at all.
Wow.
They're all skinny, like toothpick looking people who look a little bit kind of tweaked out, but like aggressive, but not really controlled aggressive.
Crow yells at all of them individually, pretty much the same thing. Get out me, ba.
Get your shit together and get out me, ba.
Crow rejects every single person who is coming in to apply for the bouncer
Not
positions.
good enough.
I'll let the waiters, waitress, staff either go through Elyon or Lixie.
Okay, and the waitress that came in looked very timid, and you like gave her a plate, like a tray of drinks to hold, and she was just like shaking with it, and like almost spilling the drinks over and stuff like that when she was holding it. But then there was a guy who came in and he just picked up a deck of cards and just flipped them through his hands. He was spreading them out all magically, and it looked like he was kind of using mage hand and stuff to like shuffle the cards and shit. Looked like he had his game down.
So a possible gambling hand.
Not the position for you, honey, but you go talk to Lixie. I point the man in the way of Lixie.
I'll go talk to Lixie, as you call her. I can shuffle with the best of them.
All right.
Word.
Yeah, Lixie would talk to him and
Does he have any questions for him?
play a game of blackjack with him.
Okay. How do you want to do that?
We don't. Let's do the dice rolls, kind of the way we played blackjack before. Let's do a dice roll. Have them roll until they're closest to 21 and hold.
Yep. All right. So
Roll
we
a
both
D20.
both start out. Roll a d20.
Okay. Roll a d20.
I got an 11.
3.
All right. So he starts out. My guy starts out at 11, and then he's got one of each of the other values of dice. So he's got a d10, a d8, a d12,
6,
a
4.
d6, and a d4. And now he's going to try and make it to 21 by strategically choosing which dice that he wants to try and roll to make it to 21 or as close as possible without going over. He's got a 12, or 11. He's going to take his d12 and roll that. 4 and 11. That's a 22, and that's a bust.
Nice. So we got 3 on Lixie's side. We have 8.
Rolling the D10.
We got a 10. Oh man, here comes a D8. Wow. 11. I didn't think I can make 21. So we're at 11. And then roll a D6. 13. Roll a D4. 17. So I'll stay at 17.
17. I got busted.
All right. So Lixie wins, shakes his hand, and says, "We'll give you a week, and come back tomorrow."
I'll start right away.
Perfection.
All right, you hired one person, I guess.
So we got ourselves 1 hire out of the 5 we needed.
That was 6. In the
Was it
first, that's the
6?
first day.
Oh yeah, no. I just wrote down and Dane was journaling. Possible hires. 1. Says no bouncers today. Possible gambling hand.
Does anybody have anything they want to do at this point? Like specifically, their characters want to go seek something out, or I can kind of blast through a couple days. And do you guys want to go to the Stargazers market festival thing they're putting on?
I want to go to the market.
Yeah, let's go to
wanna-
the market.
I also want to acquire things for the goblin as far as the workers and the enemies.
We can kind of automate the
Okay.
workers coming in a little bit.
The
more.
workers and the enemy capturing thing is kind of something we're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, pretty much just I want to do a big buy of drugs at a certain point. So I'm assuming I'm going to have to find someone in town to sell me some poisons. I'm assuming
You can get all the
Sharafa. No, she was the
Sphyrna?
Calestra. Sphyrna is the...
Yeah, you can get all the supplies you need to make any poison and stuff from
Cool.
Sphyrna, and you can get them half cost.
Okay.
Well, you'll make your poisons and stuff at half cost based on you having Sphyrna as a hookup for all the ingredients.
Okay. I'll just put in a note that I have to visit her. Other than that, I'd be down to check out the market in a day or so.
Yeah. What else is going on?
Elyon also would like to go to the market. Down to
Okay.
check it out.
I want to get the
Cro wants to see that action.
I want to get the market to come to the Goblin for business. I want to get them to do like a secondary show to bring business to us. Be like, come do some performances, bring in some people, we'll pay you out. You know what I mean?
That'd be great.
Because we have right now a town filled with traveling entertainers. We should probably milk that. Like,
Shout out to the Bard.
shouts out to the bar.
Briggs. Oh, yeah. Did you talk to Elyon at all about the traps?
Oh, I guess we didn't really run into each other yet. If I find Elyon down at the bar, I show the blueprints of traps I would like to make. Do you see? These are some traps I found for catching some reef claw and barracuda, some of the larger game things, but they didn't have any for sale, so I thought we could probably figure out how to make them. It would bring some good opponents to the fighting pit, and maybe even a good meal or two.
Kind of complicated in the way it works, but the construction and the materials are pretty simple. I think I could do it.
Yeah, I figured you of all people would understand how to build a cage, but I was trying, and I don't know a nail from a screw, so...
Yeah, I'll give it a try. Take it
Sounds
to the
good.
blacksmith and I'll work on it.
Rad. I'll just give you the blueprints then and let you do that on your own time.
Sweet. She pockets them.
Sick.
Nice. And you guys would kind of just finish out this day, and then the next day, Elyon, would you go over and maybe you finish up the blade and get working on those traps? Does anybody else have anything they specifically want or need to do?
I can do the Sphyrna trip today if you want.
Sure.
We just go to Sphyrna and buy some shit.
Yeah.
Should I just tell you which ones I'm trying to buy?
Sphyrna's here. Well, you go to Sphyrna and she's welcomes you in, and she just kind of gives you everything you need, and then you can start rolling for your stuff, and we'll say that your visit had covered all of the shopping essentials you needed to make all of the poisons and anything that you'd like to make.
Alright, so I'll just have to cover it gold-wise?
Yeah.
Okay. Some of the things that Dane's looking for is like Blackfinger's salt, which was that tasteless, odorless salt that people put in food. Okay. Slow action poison that causes people to feel like they're sick, and then kind of the way like ricin works, I guess, you know what I mean? Where you don't get sick till like a bit later, so no one really understands that you were poisoned. There was a confabulation powder. I do have some Gelderburn oil, but I could probably craft more of that. There's green blood oil, which I don't remember what that one did, but green blood oil, escalate, and demon dust.
Okay. Yeah, we can roll for that stuff off there.
So there's a lot of ones that I'll probably end up buying there that we should just take care of later.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
We can take care of that stuff. Elyon, you want to make a couple craft checks to finish off that sword, and
Yep.
and do the traps if you want.
Do you want one craft check for the sword, one for the traps, or one total?
One for the sword, one for the traps.
18 for the sword.
Oh yeah, you finish that baby off.
All right, so she finishes that off. She finishes off that guard and the pommel with the whippoorwill, and she puts an inscription on it as well.
Ooh, what does it say?
It says, "Your mystery," and it just kind of has her initials. It says on it, "To Cro," and from E.T. Elyon Thresh, her initials. And there's just kind of like, also along the blade, there's sort of just a bit of a wave pattern in remembrance, well, to pay tribute to Cro's love of water.
Nice. You got anything else to say?
And then she'll work on the traps.
All right, do it.
11 for the traps.
Okay, yeah, that's enough to make a one of the traps.
Okay, she got one. Cool.
Yeah.
Did you make a water one, or did you make a wildlife one?
I made a wildlife one.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Did the trap cost any gold?
It cost me gold. I don't know about. It cost me gold to get the blueprint. Your materials, I guess. I don't know how that works.
I'm thinking that one cost maybe 10 gold.
That was like some cheap metal. Doesn't really have to be like
Maybe
good
10,
stuff.
15, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it out of the party gold that we got from
Sounds
the
rad.
200 earlier.
Cool.
Sounds rad.
So
that's all her business.
I imagine that Elyon would make her way to the Golden Goblin and present Cro with this falchion, unless you didn't get the hint that it was for Cro.
No, yeah, she does. So now that it's done, she wraps it up, packs the whole forge up, kind of closes everything down, turns it all off, and then heads to the Golden Goblin, looking for Cro.
Cool. You would make it there and find Cro outside being an intimidating bodyguard, probably. You can roll a check to see how intimidating you are.
15.
He's pretty intimidating, yeah.
Hey,
You
Elyon.
probably wouldn't fuck with him.
Wouldn't fuck with them. So I take the sword out that I'm carrying, and I say, "Whoa, better not carry this in, you tough guard. How about you take it?" And I hand it to him.
Oh, this is a nice falchion. Wow.
Take a look. And as you look at it, you see the inscription that says, "Your mystery." And Elyon's kind of quiet. She's just like, "Well, see, my father started this. He left it for me to finish. It's for you. It was a gift from your mother who had originally commissioned him to do it. So I tried to incorporate what I've known about you to finish it up. Of course, Phrasma's the Lady of Mystery, and from what we heard the other night, I think we both have a destiny to make, and I don't think either of us are bound from our past, though we come from a lot of memories. So I wanted to give this to you. It's a way for you to make your own memories and find your own way, Cro."
Cro just kind of studies the detail and the compassion kind of put into all the blacksmith work on the weapon. And then you see him take his old falchion out, kind of like puts it in the pile with the other weapons, and sheathes his new falchion. And then he just picks Elyon up and gives a big old orc hug. Feet off the ground. And if anyone was watching, they would just see Cro's good eye. Just
The one-eye tear.
Just leaking.
the one-eyed
Wait.
leak.
All right,
don't
put me
have
down. Come on.
Thank you so much, Elyon. This means so much to me. I know that the sense of my past has sort of been rewritten, but this still means a lot, coming from my mom and coming from your father, and then finally coming from you. So I will cherish this blade, and I will think about you three every time I whack a brain.
Sure, you'll whack a lot of them.
Oh, yeah, he will.
So then this is just gonna be a +1 now.
Yeah. +1 falchion.
Thank
And
you, Elyon.
You're welcome.
Dane, I'd say that you and Lixie, your relationship has continued to grow over this last week and stuff, and you guys are kind of practically dating at this
Doing
point.
fucking good,
Yeah.
bud. It's no longer just a fling thing.
Yeah, and eventually she'd be like, I feel comfortable enough to. I know I've been weird about when we kind of walk past my house and then I go in and there's never anybody there, and
A little.
it's hard for me to talk about, but my parents are dead, and
I had gathered as much at this point.
yeah, thanks for not really bringing it up too much. It's hard to talk about, and I feel comfortable talking about it with you now.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you can always tell me. It's all good on my end. I've had my fair share of fucked up family stories.
yeah, well, did you lose your parents to ghouls?
To ghouls? How does one even become about that many ghouls? That's not a common place in Riddleport.
Well, you see, me and my parents were kind of grave robbers for a while.
Oh? Okay.
Yeah, we'd
mean-
research and find out kind of important people that have been in the past and where they've been buried. And I came across this bard called Dungo, and that was
Dungo.
the ghoul head that's on Ghoulette over there. And
Okay. Dungo.
so when my family went to this grave, we went down into this tomb, and we eventually we found, like, we snuck around as quiet as can be, and we found this tomb, and I cracked it open, hoping to see the blessings that Calistria had given to Dungo. Although I've read that he was kind of a disillusioned bard. I mean, it sounded like he had done a lot of things and would have a lot buried with him. But when I opened the grave up, the tomb, he just started yelling profanities and as loud, and it rang through the halls, and we found, and all of a sudden we were attacked by ghouls who heard his voice and followed it to us, and she would start kind of crying as she was telling you this. And,
Arm around.
And I tried to silence him. I cut off the ghoul's head and to try to make him stop, but it just kept yelling at me, and I started running away, and my parents said we're fighting ghouls, and I just kept running, and I got out of the tomb and realized that my parents had never didn't follow me out.
I understand. But you got Dungo.
I guess there's that.
That cocky cunt.
And I feel like I could go back there and like find these parts of what they had on them and to remember them by, but
I don't know if it would do much good, but I mean, we can always go back and look, if nothing else, for memory's sake. But I don't want to drag you through anything that you don't want to do.
I want to go back there, obviously, to like.
How about we go?
My mom had a necklace.
We go in the daytime sometime and see what we can find.
That'd be great.
I'd like to do that. I'm sorry to hear about your parents, Lixie.
I appreciate that, Dane.
Hugs.
Nice. And
Aw.
the rest of the kind of couple days would go by, and it would be the day of the market, of the Stargazers market.
It's the day.
You guys want to just go there and
I'm razzle-dazzled.
See what's up, or
I want to put on nice wear. I want to bring money. I want to.
Okay.
It's like the gambling casino again.
Yeah.
We got a market. Let's get wild.
Oh boy.
All right, you guys would prep up and
New suit time.
new suit time. Do you have a new suit?
I fucked up my suit last time, so I need to go see Tim the Tailor.
Tom the Tailor.
Tim the Tom Man.
Hey, Dane, what's happening tonight? I'm Tom the Tailor, and I'm here to give you a tight-ass suit, my brother.
I need a tight-ass suit, my brother.
I see you got a couple friends with you. I got a dress. You don't really look like a dress-wearing gal, but I can fancy you up one. Cro, I remember you. Did you wear suits?
Hey there, buddy. I'll take a suit, yeah.
I got one just your size, my friend.
Let's see it there. Does it complement my green skin?
Oh yes, it does. He pulls out
green.
It's like a dark, it looks black until you kind of shine it in light a little bit, and it kind of shines green in the light a little bit. Has a little like a emerald hint to it.
You know what, Tom? I knew I liked you.
I got you, Cro. He winks.
How much you got for this?
These are all 50 GP attires. These are all finely crafted, handmade. I put blood, sweat, and tears into these babies.
All right, Tom. I'll give you 51 GP just because I love your enthusiasm.
I fucking love you, Cro.
All right. I'm going to give the boy a 50 GP for pretty much the same suit I had last time, but without the shoulder pads.
No shoulder pads?
No shoulder pads.
But what, your shoulders look so puny without them.
It's all right. Last time it didn't work out so well for me.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's
I can put them in, no charge.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's
I promise.
real easy. I can do it magically.
It was real easy to ruin them, too.
And Elyon, do you need anything, girl?
I'll keep my robes. Your clothes are too beautiful for the type of work that I get into.
Oh, Elyon, you are too beautiful for the clothes that I bring to you. I would be honored to tailor up something custom to your bodice.
I'm going to save it for a special occasion. I can't wait to first wear a Tom clothing article.
Gosh, they're going to be great.
His last name's Hilfiger.
Yeah.
Tom Hilfiger.
It's Hillfinger.
Oh, no.
I am Tom Hillfinger.
Oh, Hillfinger.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I have
Hillfinger.
a green thumb. Right?
Does that mean you also plant things?
I plant clothes.
No, Jesus. I
You want to see
plant
my
the
shirt
feds.
garden?
The finest fibers.
He grows his own silk.
Yes. I grow my own spider silk.
So I needed me a new suit. I wanna take. Oh no, I'm gonna take 500 GP with me.
All right.
I don't need my gauntlets, but I am gonna take my sword cane. I'm trying to look official, not like
Okay.
a thug.
Yeah.
I'm a businessman, an astute business.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
I'm not a business bitch. I'm a business bitch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you guys would make your way over to kind of the rotunda in front of the 3 bigger but gambling halls, but you guys have made yourselves just as big as these ones. These ones are on the other side of the Velashu River, so you guys take the ferry across the river and walk north up into this free coin district. And the place is booming. There are people walking everywhere. You see like carny folk juggling things around. You see people up on stilts. You see clowns. You see pretty much everything that would kind of stereotypically be at some like festival like this. And you walk through, and there are all their booths set up. People selling magical baubles. Elyon would take note of this guy. There is basically an arcane blacksmith guy. He has this kind of green tinted metal that he has in this rock, and you see him. You'd see him first like take a chunk of stone and cast a spell and shape it into a blade shape that he wants, and then he would take this metal and over a pot, like a big cast iron thing that underneath it there's just this huge like magical flame just heating it up. He would cast a spell on the chunk of metal, and it would just liquefy, and then it would fall into the water, and it would start boiling, and then he would just basically dispel that liquefy magic that was on it, and then it would harden up, and the heat kept the stone and stuff on the top of the metal, and he chips off the metal, and then he kind of does that process over again with just the purified metal, and then he pours it into the cast that he had made of this sword shape, and you see him breathe fire out onto the spot and heat it up and take away the liquefy spell, and it's still like boiling hot and red hot, and then he turns his fists into stone and then hardens them further and just starts punching at the metal and tempers it and shapes it to what he wants it to be. And you see him all doing this all with magic and not an actual furnace. And like before, when he liquefied the metal and put it into a shape, it was like one very long rod, and he like bent it over on itself and made these just like a lot of folds of the metal, and then just heated it up even more and pounded it all together. So it was this like 1,000-layer blade in this green tinted metal that you had probably never really seen before. Roll me perception checks as we're kind of over by this guy.
Elyon's amazed. She's just blown away by what he's doing with his blacksmith abilities and his magic. 7 perception.
7 perception.
Yeah, Crow's really, really watching. You got a 26.
26. Dane?
Can I, safety's sake, that when I maybe get off the ferry or whatever to get here, I throw on a heightened awareness and
Sure.
get some perception and knowledge up?
Sure.
Cool. 23 on the perception.
Okay. So besides what this guy's doing, he looks like this stoic kind of god-like creature, like not creature but person. He looks almost like Hohenheim from Full Metal Alchemist. That long blonde hair, long blonde beard, just like perfectly kempt. He might have like a couple tattoos of like hammers and stuff around his arms. He looks like his body is just like young looking, but you can just sense like a deep old presence within this person. Dane and Cro, you would see kind of past what he's doing and notice something you haven't seen before ever. Past the flying orbs that are just kind of circling him. He has a couple stones that are just kind of circling his presence. You would see on his hip, holstered, this, you would assume, since it's in the spot of a sword, that it would be a weapon, but you can't really see too much of it because it's in a holster. You see just kind of a handle just on this guy's hip. And that's the first kind of stall you see. You guys care to stop at this stall?
At the stall?
Did you guys see what he was sheathing?
No, I didn't. I was watching the
I
hammering.
did.
He had something in some sort of
It's a
holster.
little small thing. Like a
Maybe like a
dagger, mini dagger. Let's go check it out.
like a flamed crossbow of sorts, maybe.
Let's go check it out.
Do we know what guns are?
No, not yet.
So you want to go? You want to talk to him or just?
No, I just want to watch him.
Okay.
Watch him do his thing, and maybe if I can get close enough to like see what the shape of that holster is, what it do.
Yeah, it looks like a hand-sized weapon of sorts.
Hand-sized
You could maybe, like, I don't know if you would see much past the holster that's kind
Yeah.
of covering it all up. You might see the tip of a barrel sticking out, and it might like give you kind of a cannon type vibe.
Interesting. I don't want to make any assumption, but it's a pellet cannon. Shoots rocks.
Never seen anything like it.
It's my call.
Yeah, me either.
I bet
Interesting.
I bet you load it with those rocks that are floating around him, and then it like shoots him like a bow. It goes like a slingshot for rocks. That's my call.
Huh.
Hell yeah! And if you don't,
Probably hurt.
Yeah.
if you don't want to stop the stall, we'll go on to the next stall. The
Don't
next
care
stall,
to
right
touch.
next to him, is a man who he looks very similar to this last guy, but instead of a long flowing hair, he's just got a shaved head, bald completely, and then just a big, thick, dark beard that's speckled with gray. He looks like he looks as old as the other guy should look, but doesn't. And he's just got tattoos just everywhere. He's tattooing one person at this moment, and the kind of coolest thing about what this guy's doing is the biggest tattoo that you see on his arm is this kind of black and gold dragon that's wrapped around his arm, and the tail of this dragon actually lifts off of his arm and is inserted into a device that he's tattooing with.
Wow.
And so you would, I guess, assume that the ink is coming from his tattoo as he's
Okay.
throwing
That's crazy.
a rune of some sort onto a mage-looking person.
Can anyone detect magic, or do you have to be trained?
You have to have the spell to detect magic.
Elyon.
Yeah,
Look at
she'll
that. What's
detect.
that?
Let's take a look. Detects magic over him and the booth.
This guy would light up like a Christmas tree. Like his tattoos are just glowing with pretty much every type of magic that you know of.
Wow.
So he's got, like, you would probably assume that there are different spells and effects that he's just has tattooed on him that he can pretty much use at any time.
I don't know if I've ever seen a person as magical as this man. His whole body is covered and glowing. And for fun, she turns to the booth that they were previously at and looks at that man as well, the blacksmith. Detect magic.
Detect magic. The orbs circling him are glowing with magic. The hammer tattoos on his arm are glowing with a transmutation magic. There are the weapon at his side is glowing with magic. Like his spells and the things that he make are glowing with magic.
Wow.
I relay all that.
It's a very magical crew.
Yeah, these two.
That's insane.
Yeah, and the booths kind of have a couple of setups like a menus of sorts. Like the blacksmith, he can make you a weapon. He can make a weapon masterwork. He can make a masterwork weapon. He can enchant masterwork weapons. He can do pretty much anything involved with making weapons or armor.
Okay.
He can do it. The other guy, he can tattoo potions on you. He can tattoo spells on you. He has a couple of other just kind of effects that he can tattoo on a person. So if you guys are interested in any of that, that's something that you can look into.
Okay.
Yeah. Might possibly, yeah.
And then you walk down a little bit farther. There's a booth that with just, it looks like the guy had a big chest, and he opened up this chest, this trunk, and almost like bookshelves sprouted up from this guy's chest, and they're just filled with books. A couple of them are labeled, like one's labeled arcane spell books, one's labeled formula books, one's are more research books, blah blah blah. He's got a few different stacks of these books. The next guy down, he has just these rocks, stones, gems, just lines of those. You might catch him explaining it to a person. He explains that most of these are ion stones, IOUN, whatever. I think it's pronounced ion, but he would explain that each of these stones have different magical effects that they will grant the person. And he would point down to the blacksmith, who is sporting a couple of his stones that are orbiting his body as he goes to work. You guys would walk up and see the Malvadorio just juggling away these knives and star knives and things, just like getting a crowd around him as people toss in coins and stuff. Make perception checks.
Yeah, I would also like to flavor with my heightened awareness of if there's anything that you think I would see that maybe if the check calls for it, you know what I mean? To keep it in mind. 19, 25.
25. Any other checks?
15 for Elyon.
I'm Kobe with the 24.
Ooh, and Dane, what does a heightened awareness kind of feel like, or what
Like
happens to your senses?
By the sense of it, it sounds like a heavy stimulant, or probably like a little more wide-eyed, a little more triggered easily.
I kind of imagine your senses going to like limitless, Bradley Cooper kind of thing. Like everything becomes like more saturated, and you can pick up on things, and your brain
notice
just
more
processes
about
things.
your surroundings, recall information effortlessly. So if there's anything that I would remember, it would like hit me like a train. It helps for everything, even as far as initiative, just being ready, being trigger happy, but with your brain.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd say on the 25, looking around, is there anything fish? Is there anything weird?
Like this happens in an instant. Cro and Elyon probably don't even see this happen, but that small Gripply, he just kind of glides out of nowhere past a person. His tongue shoots out and grabs something from somebody's wrist and back into his mouth, and he just skitters on across, and nobody notices him at all.
Jesus
As Malvo
Christ.
is just like making a show of things, and then he just comes in and grabs things off people.
Oh my god, okay.
He probably does this like a couple times without
Wow.
anybody being none the wiser.
I put a hand on my pockets and like make sure that all my shit's there. And I tell the others to do the same. Cro, Elyon, keep your shit in your pockets. Keep your things covered. We got pickpockets here, but I don't think they're necessarily for us. I really like the ion rocks.
I think they're Ioun.
Ioun rocks?
Ioun stones.
Yeah.
Ioun stones.
I would like to check out some of the Ioun stones. Do you possibly have like a small list of some of the ones that are available?
There's quite an extensive list of
Oh, is
ion
there?
stone.
Huge
Is
one?
there kind of an effect that you're looking for?
Something to make me more talk-worthy, charismatic, diplomacy, maybe even like something like perception, but like something that makes me more of a talker.
I'd like to do some looking at stones too, but I'm gonna need to do some looking over time.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of, I was like, I didn't know it was going to be such a big list. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can,
That is cool.
Oh,
That's cool. That's
yikers.
cool. You guys can definitely look at the list and
yeah,
tell me what you want to buy later.
that would help.
The same for if you want any weapons or anything enchanted.
I might want to get my gauntlets up or something like that, masterwork.
Yeah, if you would walk over to him and like inquire about your gauntlet, you'd take it off, look at it, he'd be like, yeah, I could make this masterwork for like 200 GP. You can just cast a spell on it and make it masterwork to give it a +1 bonus. Just easy. If you want an enchantment on it, past that is gonna be like $1,000 at least for the enchantment. You can make stuff from scratch really quickly and pricey, but
Pricey?
yeah, he has a bunch of different metals. Like he says he can enchant, or not enchant, but he can forge like fire steel and frost steel. He has sky metal that displaces that, which is he would explain is that the green tinted metal that he was working with before when you guys were watching it. This sky metal, it falls from space, and they've been kind of following its traces and tracks with their enchanters and stuff like that. Their oracles and stuff have been helping them find these spots where these fall.
That's super rad though.
Yeah, adamantine. He's got mithril. He's got pretty much every type of metal that he can craft with.
It's good to know.
Yeah, and there's people with different formula books and spell books and stuff that you can take a look at and we can buy from. But we can do all that stuff on air. I just want to get the flavor, or off air. I just want to get the flavor for it out here, so you guys know what you can delve into. There's a guy that has a lot of different magical bottles and different things. There's a a magical clother who has different belts and sashes and robes and chests and like tunics and vests and boots and gloves and all that
It's a
stuff.
haberdashery.
Yeah, fucking haberdashery.
So you're saying the already insanely expansive allotment of things that we can get in Riddleport just got way bigger.
Yeah, it's still kind of within the same price range, but I'm kind of using this as a fun way to focus your guys' shopping and give it a setting of its own.
It's not just the shops we've had. We got some traveling artists.
Yeah. Artists, if you want to get caricatures drawn, there's a couple
Whoa.
people doing paintings and drawings. You see people just kind of dancing around, doing some cool flips and stuff.
Yeah,
You
there was
see-
bard girls, wasn't there? Like they've got to be like playing shanties somewhere and stuff.
You would see only Bella, the fetchling woman, kind of are out just singing, kind of just for spectators on the street. The Kalama, the Ifriti girl, you don't see her anywhere, nor Estella, the Stargazer. The Stargazer.
How about the Harrowers, Kostu and Toru?
Taku.
Taku.
You wouldn't see Koshtu. You might be able to find Taku kind of giving blessings and stuff around.
So they don't have a stand,
He's
apparently?
he's a cleric.
Okay.
So he's kind of going around like talking to people. He doesn't really have a station. The Mizelia Malvadorio, she has a spot where she's giving out, looking into crystal balls for someone. Taku, since he is more of a divining cleric, he would be doing more divination stuff for Haro cards and stuff like that. But it seemed that Elyon and Cro would probably get the sense that Koshtu it might have been kind of rare for him to deal out a reading of his own. It seemed like he was kind of struggling emotionally with what he was doing, that he'd probably gone through troubles in
Dealing with this card.
Yeah, what the cards had told him and how he reacted to cards.
All right.
Definitely felt strange for Elyon. The whole feeling was strange to begin with.
And they kind of just like derailed you from your course of action. Filled your brains with like mind explosive stuff, and then just kind of like, hey, what's up?
They're really good distracting entertainers.
That's right.
They like look at all your life. I don't know why you're here, but look.
It'll come in due time.
I'm gonna do that to friends. When friends need to be sobered up, I'll just pull out a deck of cards, start telling them about their past and their future.
Yeah.
I was gonna look around and see if there wasn't anyone that maybe would talk to Dane about a future, because I want a reading. That seems like
You want a
something
reading?
you would do.
Yeah, you can sit down with Taku if you'd like.
Okay, kind of cool. He's the cleric.
Yeah.
He just uses a Harrow deck.
Yeah. Same as his brother, but in a different way. Or his cousin.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
Not right now.
Okay.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
I'm afraid of the truth.
Is there anything else you guys want to check out at this place?
Could I go to that
so
first
much.
guy that enchants weapons?
Yeah.
How much to enchant my new masterwork falchion, sir?
What kind of enchantment would you like to do?
Can you do them all?
I can't do them all, but I have a wide range of spells I know that I can enchant with. Or if you have one that I don't know, you could provide me a scroll and I could use that as well.
Are you versed in water?
Yes, I am.
What kind of water stuff you got going on?
Elyon wants to do some stuff with this guy too, but she's not going to be ready to do it till next session. Is that okay that we do it on both? Do I have to get it in now?
If you guys talk to them, they would say that their market is going on for another couple days, but their performance is happening tonight.
So if I wanted to purchase things, I could do it
Yeah.
off or next?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, do you guys want to do anything before
How
the
much
show
does he
starts?
charge for an enchantment?
It depends on the enchantment. If it's something like a D6 of elemental damage or something like that, it would probably be like $1,000. You could probably get something like a hydraulic push put on it to where you can kind of push water around, make you do bull rushes and stuff, that might be a little bit more expensive. It depends on the enchantment bonus that is given to that spell.
Yeah.
So I'll have to look on like Hero Labs or on the D20 a little bit closer.
I'll save it for next time.
So as the evening kind of dies down, it's not dark yet, but you see the sun getting lower in the sky, and people would start moving to a grandstand and start seating themselves in front of an area that's kind of ringed off as a performance area. It's not a stage, but it's kind of like in a circus tent. They have the ringleader and the big ring that is the stage on the ground. And people would start funneling over to that area. Do you guys go and sit down?
Yeah, I'm curious.
I absolutely would. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm about
All right, and they're taking like a couple of GP, just kind of entry fee, donation fee, whatever.
turn around. Just kidding. Yeah, I'd totally cover it.
All right,
I'll
yeah.
drop him 6. I took it out of the party tab, that 200.
They ask for 2, but anything more is appreciated.
Nope.
They already got a good amount of my money, if you know what I mean.
Kinda. So you guys would sit down in the stands, and everyone's kind of abuzz with excitement of what's going to happen, because they've been seeing the posters around town, and it looks like it's kind of a fun exotic show that's going to happen. And as night slowly starts to fall, before it, like right at sunset, Malvo Malvadorio comes out. And he goes, "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for this show of the evening. The stargazing gypsies present to you a time of your life. First off, our first act is Dizdin, the cat folk druid hunter." And you'd see the cat folk man that you guys had, Elyon and Cro had met at the caravan, come out, and he would show his arms wide. He's kind of got this like long hair into a beard that almost kind of looks like a lion's mane. He's got a little bit darker fur than an actual lion does. But as he walks out and brings up his arms, 6 lions come out and just start circling him.
Yes.
And that's what we're going on tonight.
Yeah, but you won't. Why?
Kyle's
I can tell you.
falling asleep.
I was resting my eyes. I was listening. I was listening.
It's what you look like watching movies when you're about to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
See, but
I'm
that
listening.
I'm actually
listening.
not listening. But today I was listening. I
So
know
if you-
everything that happened.
You'd be like, Kyle,
Quiz
you
me.
listening? Yeah, Kyle, I'm listening.
What was the fortune teller's name?
Oh, well.
That was really hard. It was like a lot of M's.
That just
Wasn't
makes it easier.
Yeah, 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 yeah.